Wongers! Hello everybody, welcome to the podcast. I am Sher Khan, joined by my co-host, Agent Zman. How we doing?
Yeah, good, not too bad.
Good. Right, we have another jam-packed episode in store for you guys. We have a double feature of episode 4 and episode 5 of She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. Let's get into it.
Yeah, so obviously, I think when we do these podcast episodes, we were looking at the She-Hulk episode last week, and we were like, it doesn't really have much to say. Obviously, we will still talk about it.
Yeah.
But I think if it's a big episode, I think next week's episode is going to be massive.
Yeah.
That's when we do a whole video on that. But
that makes sense.
I think with this one, we're going to be focusing on the both episodes because they're kind of filler.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I've been seeing online. Some people haven't been enjoying it as much. I've loved it. Agent Z-Man's loved it. And I think generally it's a good reception, but some people are feeling like it's not. It's just a cameo show, or it's not enough going on. And I feel like while the episodes have mostly been filler, you could say, they're still moving at a grounded pace. It's not so much. It's not slow by any means because it's a comedy, and it's a good one at that. But it's moving She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters' story along while having all of this other stuff go on. So I feel like it's working, but it's not as high stakes Infinity War stones, all this kind of stuff, because it doesn't need to be. You know?
Yeah, and I think when people make the comparisons of other shows, it kind of isn't fair because there isn't an immediate threat that She-Hulk has to face, unlike Hawkeye's, Moon Knight, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Captain America, Winter Soldier, WandaVision, because this show is a grounded show. It's not good. Although we have these cameos, Sher Khan said, it's not. It's more of a lawyer show, and it states that it's not supposed to be big, massive in terms of the scale of how it affects the MCU. It's supposed to be nice comedy with introductions to certain characters, and last week's episode was more, there were more stakes in it. I would say because we had Wong come back, and we had magic being introduced.
Donny Blaze.
Donny Blaze. I was like, is he Ghost Rider? Is he not Ghost Rider, but related to, or did he get the name Blaze from?
His name is Johnny Blaze, isn't it? So,
yeah. But I remember when people were doing Easter egg videos before on set pictures, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's Johnny Blaze," and I was like, "It could be, but." I doubt it, and luckily it was just Donny Blaze.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Agent Z-Man loves to deep dive into backstage shots and all this kind of stuff. I like to kind of stay away from all of that until it's out, and watch it for what it is, because it can lead to, at least for me, I totally get why he does it, but for me it's I don't want to start guessing and then getting my hopes up. Like in Thor, Love and Thunder, where you see behind the scenes Jane Foster transforming and all this kind of stuff, and the wire work, and then we don't get any of that in the film.
They deleted that scene in the film, which was another reason why it's bad. But we'll do a video on that. Trust me,
we'll do why it's so bad.
Yeah. But anyway, so we have Wong. He has a problem with Donny Blaze, doing all sorts of bad magic, including a certain deal with the character Madison. She was definitely fun. I think she was a good addition to the show and a good addition to Wong's life. I mean, if you think about it, the man's just been going through a lot. I mean, we see in the episode he's going through a lot when he's watching Sopranos and he's spoiled. I mean, I don't know about you, the viewers, but I hate being spoiled on anything.
Yeah.
So I felt for him, and also, if you think about it, there is a moment where he talks about a wedding, and I was thinking it's the wedding he had with his partner that we see in Doctor Strange 2 who gets killed, or like...
I thought it was the one in Doctor Strange 2 at the beginning.
Yeah, no, as in, I think it is that person.
Oh.
Because, you know, they have like some kind of heartfelt like look to each other when, you know, she is killed.
Yeah.
So that is quite sad if you think about it. He still has stuff from the wedding. And it's like, oh,
because that was in the end credit scene, wasn't it?
No. Wait, what do you mean?
Where he's mentioning stuff from the wedding.
Oh yeah.
The yak milk.
Yeah. But I think Madison will give some cheer to Wong's life.
Yeah.
But it was really cool to see, you know, demons, and, you know, I'm pretty sure they were coming out from hell, or Mephisto's realm.
Mephisto.
Yes. I mean, come on, that goat, Jake. I know you're gonna call him Jake, but he clearly was Mephisto. I'm sorry. Like,
who's Jake?
You know the goat.
The goat has a name.
Because Madison says the goat
made a deal with the goat.
Yeah, and it was like, it's pretty much Mephisto. I mean, like, come on. It's just Marvel's, like, you know, dragging us through the ropes, like, just being like, we're not going to say Mephisto yet. But, I mean, a recent thing that's happened, there's, like, a HasLab Ghost Rider project, and they teased Mephisto, and I was like, oh my god. Finally, Mephisto.
Yeah.
But, you know what I mean? It's good. But, I definitely think that, you know, it was a good episode overall. Just not, I mean, there wasn't big stakes apart from those demons and those dates.
Yeah. Well, before we get to dates, I noticed that this is the first time She-Hulk actually deals with a threat that isn't human. Like, obviously, she's just been established through the series, so she's not dealt with much at all. But this is the first time she's dealt with, like, I don't want to call it extraterrestrial because it's demons, but they
are, like, isn't like they're otherworldly beings.
Yeah, otherworldly beings. Like, because she's fighting demons, and even when Wong gets her in through the portal, and she's all of a sudden these goblin-like demons are fighting her, she's like, oh, actual demons? So it's the first time that she's... Because if you think about all of the other heroes, Hawkeye not so much, but you often see them fighting like the biggest threats or some alien random dude, whereas She-Hulk is more... It shows testament to the show of like, it's only now, episode 4, where she's fighting actual demons, you know?
And like you're saying, like, this is obviously, we did have the previous episode to last week's one where she had the fight with the Wrecking Crew.
Yeah.
But other than that, she's not had a lot of fights. She's only had, I think, maybe 4.
Yeah.
First one with Titania in the court, and then with Hulk. Then it was the Wrecking Crew.
Yeah.
Pretty sure. Yeah, Wrecking Crew. And then obviously these demons.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think maybe next week's episode we'll get some more of her being a superhero, because I think the show's establishing her as a lawyer and, you know, trying to figure out the differences between being, you know, Jen and using the kind of advantages that come from She-Hulk.
Yeah.
You know, the confidence, and like we do see this in last week's episode, the confidence of her when she starts dating people as She-Hulk, and like, although it doesn't go out in her favor.
Yeah, speaking of those dates.
Yeah, and they do come back to this week's episode, which was humiliating for her, but it was fun to see David Otunga.
Yes, that's the biggest thing I noticed, because obviously I'm a wrestling fan and an aspiring wrestler. So to see David Otunga, former WWE wrestler and actual lawyer in real life, and also married to Kelly Rowland, crazy. He was in the show, and then you have, like, he was just so massive.
He was like a heavy macho man.
Yeah, like a bodybuilder or something.
No, but like his attitude was like proper, like, ooh, you don't want it. He's like too toxic.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
And like, to see him there, because he was even more huge than he was in WWE, body wise, and then to see all the other like people that She-Hulk, I should say, not Jen, She-Hulk went on dates with. They're all just so hilarious, especially the one that geeks out over how much of a specimen she is.
Todd.
Yeah.
And like I do think, well, luckily we did see, this week's episode him come back, because I think everyone was having a theory that he could be the one who hired the Wrecking Crew, who may be working for the leader, who we now know is coming back to the MCU.
Yeah, baby.
Well, he's going to be in Captain America: New World Order.
Yeah.
But
that was from D23 Expo.
Yeah, and which is wild, and I do think we may see him in She-Hulk as a cameo, maybe at the end.
To set him up, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I definitely think, because we even got more information in this episode, this week's episode, that Todd is a big client for JLHK.
Yeah.
Which means he's had prior experiences with superheroes.
That's true.
Like how, Megan Thee Stallion signed up with She-Hulk as a client. That means, Todd has been a client for that company for some time now. So we don't know if he's dealing with villains, or he's just had some bad dates, or, some kind of issues. But I definitely think that there's something more to Todd's character.
Yeah.
And I do think that, I'm not sure where I saw it from, but on the credits originally, Todd's name was called Hulk Todd.
Huh?
Yeah. But then they cut that Hulk, and I was like, it looks oddly spaced out for Todd's name. But I think it may be due to that he's maybe a Hulk fanatic or something like that. I was like, oh, he's like, there is a theory. I think either Screen Crush or New Rockstars said, shout out to them, they're really good.
Yeah, really good.
But they were thinking that, I think one of them said that it could be the leader's brother, who is another Hulk villain, who is like obsessed with Hulk and, the strength, and he eventually becomes a character named Madman, I think. And he's like a hulking character.
That's crazy.
But either way, it was fun to see the dates back.
Yeah.
Although I kind of despise seeing that guy who eventually, did date She-Hulk, but then was like, "Ooh, I don't like Jennifer."
Yeah.
And it honestly was so crushing for them to just be like, "Yeah, I didn't feel that she was a good date," and like, I felt for She-Hulk at that moment. But this week's episode, we did see Titania sue She-Hulk for the name She-Hulk.
Titania Worldwide.
And it's funny that like the MCU is currently using social media as a kind of like in the universe, like in universe social media as a kind of like a news story plot line, because we had that in Falcon Winter Soldier with the whole, flag smashers being like, oh yeah, and then we had Hawkeye with the whole miscommunication between Hawkeye as Ronin and Yelena going, I gotta kill him. So it's very interesting that the MCU is using social media so much. Like I think the first one was actually Shang-Chi that had social media as like a fun kind of thing, and that's how we got the whole Abomination versus Wong fight scene recorded. But I do think they're eventually going to use this platform to showcase lesser known heroes. Which brings me to the introduction of the costume designer. So he's very funny, and like when you see in his workspace, there were like some other costumes. There was a weirdly like overbellied costume of like, it was obviously like a chest armor for someone, but
was that the black one?
Yeah, it was all black. And I was like, who's gonna wear that? But it's very interesting to see that the MCU does have a costume designer who does
superhero
suits, but for like exclusive clients. Because when She-Hulk tried to get it into it,
initially
they had to lie and say, "Oh, she's an Avenger." But I do think, and well, let's get the elephant out of the room. The Daredevil helmet.
Daredevil helmet
Ooh,
in the
baby.
yellow. Jeez.
I kind of had a theory that if Daredevil, was going to come back in the MCU, this was like, after season 3 finished. I was like, the only way they would bring him back is that he'd be in the yellow suit.
Yeah, I remember you saying that, and I thought at the time, like, why? Why would they do that? But it makes sense.
And like, it's funny now because like, in the comics, the reason why the yellow suit looks so, well, it is yellow and red. His like first appearance suit. It's because Daredevil made it, and he's blind, so he can't see color.
Yeah.
So it was overly like he didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
But to make it that a costume designer did it for him.
Did it for him, yeah.
So I think he's eventually going to be like, yeah, I don't like the yellow, and then we'll most likely get a new suit in Daredevil Born Again. Excited for that show.
Oh yeah.
But I also noticed, well, thanks for Screen Crush for confirming it, but there was a guy who had left the costume place right before Jen entered, and it is confirmed that is the guy who is playing Frogman. Who will be either Frogman or Leapfrog or whoever, because there's multiple characters with that frog title.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we know he's coming into the show. So it's clever to see that this costume designer doesn't kind of like discriminate between hero and villain. He just does it. If Frogman is a villain, he just, makes the designs, which also has my theories on are the new costumes of I do think Shang-Chi's is the only one that stands out because
it was made with the dragon scale.
Yeah, it's a traditional armor or outfit, but
minus
other
the
characters,
trainers.
minus the trainers,
minus the trainers.
But like other characters in the MCU, are they getting their costumes from this designer exclusively? Like maybe Hawkeye got it from there. Or we did see.
No, Hawkeye got it from the cosplay.
From those cosplay characters, or actors, or what I mean. But I mean, we saw Thunderbolts line up, and their outfits look very new, apart from Taskmaster and Ghost, which are more functional than outfits.
I don't think everyone got their outfits made by this guy. I think it's the ones that put in, like, it's a special clientele. I think the Avengers got their suits made by themselves, like in-house or something.
Yeah, by S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, S.H.I.E.L.D. would have made it. But these other kind of up-and-coming heroes and stuff, or villains, because you have Frogman, they don't have the means to do it themselves, you know what I mean? So they hire somebody like this dude.
Yeah, and I kind of think maybe in the Daredevil Born Again, we'll see this guy. I was upset we didn't see Melvin from the Daredevil show, but we have been it's been confirmed by Charlie Cox himself that Daredevil Born Again is a reboot.
Yeah.
It's not a sequel to the Netflix show, so sorry for the Netflix fans, but you kind of had to expect it because although the show does feel like it can be in the MCU because they do mention the whole Avengers 1 event happening.
Yeah.
But like very like hush hush.
Speaking of that though, like it's gonna be, we'll cover it close to the time, but like it's gonna be interesting because they're gonna have to make this show completely different because as into season 3 or the whole show.
Shows.
Yeah. Because if they make it too similar to the Netflix show,
they'll just be like, oh, it's just Netflix.
Yeah.
But
and people are gonna compare it anyway. But like going in, which is unfortunate. Because obviously it was so good. But it's going to be interesting to see how they tackle it. And because we're seeing like intermittent appearances of Daredevil, we saw him, debut in Spider-Man, and now we're seeing him in She-Hulk. And then we're going to see him again in his own series. Because we're getting these little snippets, I feel like it is going to have to be very different. And I'm for that, because otherwise, like I said, it would just be a rehash. Like if they had all the same characters, like I'm kind of glad Melvin isn't there, even though I like him.
I kind of wanted him to be working with the designer.
Yeah, but if he was there, then
you should be like, oh, is that canon? Is that canon?
Yeah, exactly. And we don't want to be doing that the whole time. It's like, okay, no, this is a new thing.
Yeah, so it's a new variant of the character.
Yeah.
As we'll probably say the Netflix version is the Netflix variant.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is the MCU 616
Mm.
variant. But I do hope that we do get Bullseye, and he may get his costume from this client.
Yeah.
I do think maybe Kingpin works with this costume designer for his, suits, because they are custom made.
Mm.
So I do think he might get from this guy, and then he will. I don't think they'll have like a scene where this guy gets attacked and there's no more for like his shop or something like that. But I do think, for other unknown characters or maybe known characters of the Marvel universe, they'll go to this guy to get their costume. So looking forward to that. And also, She-Hulk is gonna get a costume now.
Yeah.
And clothes that fit. Because she's been wearing that baggy suit.
Yeah.
And we did see at the end, it kind of was an end credit scene, but we didn't actually get an end credit scene for this week's episode. But the whole costume scene was pretty much end credit.
Yeah.
But, we'll see her super suit.
Yeah.
But very much looking forward to next week's episode, which I think will be the first introduction with Daredevil as, being an active superhero. I do think this will be his debut as a hero.
Do you think he'll have a case? Because obviously we've talked about it on the previous episodes of what the case of the day is or case of the episode. Do you think he'll be that? Or do you think Todd will kind of resurface?
No, I don't think Todd will resurface unless he hired... I still think maybe Todd is involved with the Wrecking Crew. But I do want to see the Wrecking Crew come back and maybe, like we said last episode, get her blood.
Yeah.
Which may cause the whole... I mean, if Leader is gamified in Captain America New World Order, that means Incredible Hulk is canon, and it is canon because we've had Abomination come back, and
they're using all the same actors as well.
Yeah, so I do think he most likely, when we do see him, he will be not human. He will be his big head form. I don't know which version they're gonna use. Either the just big head, or it's the kind of like mushroom. Yeah, we'll just say it mushroom. But if you know, you know.
Yeah.
Kind of design. So I am definitely looking forward to next week's episode. I think it's going to be a more action-packed one.
I think so too, yeah.
You may see Leapfrog / Frogman in action.
Let's forget about Leapfrog.
Come on, man.
Let's see Daredevil.
Shout out to Daredevil. Dan Who and the Who gang with the Frogman.
Yeah.
So, we've made that famous, and now he's in the MCU. Come on. So I hope it's the hero version, because then he could maybe help. But I do think he's going to be a villain for She-Hulk to fight.
Yeah.
And we'll see how Daredevil interacts with She-Hulk. Is She-Hulk going to fall in love with Daredevil? Because, he's a lawyer, he's a superhero.
Yeah.
So she'll most likely relate to him more so than anyone, because Hulk is gone.
Yeah.
Outworld, hopefully we do get something.
Outworld? Mortal Kombat?
No.
Offworld.
Offworld. I mean, Outworld. But, I do hope we see something of that, and I do hope this introduction of Daredevil is going to be a good one. I know people love to either overhype or just be like, oh, it's going to be terrible, and, undermine certain characters, like Return.
Yeah.
Daredevil has been coming, we've all wanted it, and I think we just need to, level our expectations and just enjoy what we see in the show.
Enjoy the ride.
Yeah, I don't think overhyping the show and being like, oh, it's going to be mad. I think just enjoy it as it is, and so far, me and Sher Khan have enjoyed the show as it is.
Yeah.
We're not, going crazy or being like, oh, it's so boring, it's just so, there's no action. It is what it is.
Yeah.
It's showing the projection of, or trajectory of She-Hulk.
Yeah.
And Jennifer Walters finally being one.
Yes.
Which kind of works that, Hulk has the whole Bruce Banner personality and Hulk personality, and the two identities clashing.
Yeah.
and this show is using that.
Yeah.
Although She-Hulk is not a separate entity, it feels to Jen it is, because it's a, everyone views it as a different person.
Yeah.
Compared to her.
She just ultimately wants people to treat them the same, but her journey will, and let us know as well what you guys think, but like her journey will come to realize that yes, the world may want them to be different things, and they won't see her and She-Hulk as the same like she would want it to be. She's ultimately gonna learn how to be okay with that, and having a time and place to be She-Hulk and be Jen and be perfectly okay with being Jen, because the whole world is like, yay She-Hulk, boo Jen. Who is Jen? Jen is trash, and She-Hulk is the number one. And that's having an effect on her. But I feel like throughout the series or towards the end of the series, she'll kind of finally find that balance of, because it's not hard for her to be She-Hulk and Jen. It's just more so the world demands She-Hulk and not so much love for Jen.
Mm.
So she will realize um that it's okay to be both, and that she doesn't need anybody else's uh approval kind of thing. But yeah.
But yeah, so that was the episode for this week. So we covered last week and this week's episode. So make sure you guys like, subscribe, and also hit the notification bell.
Yes.
To be updated when we upload. And
follow us both on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter, everywhere that you can see us.
We'll have it on the links below.
Yes.
But just say have a great weekend.
Yeah. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
And we will see you guys on the next one. Thank you guys. Take care.
Ciao.